Hi and welcome back to Maven's Movie Vault for Horror and Little Miss Monster Maker. I'm Mad Mike and that's...
Angela Jane.
Say hello, Angela.
Hello, Angela.
Hello. This is episode 3 of View from the Underground, and this week we will be reviewing a film called First Night. Take it away, Angela.
Okay, I had the privilege of around 3 years ago now of viewing a screener of this short film First Night, which is directed and written and basically just the whole imagining of the one person called Philippe Beru. I cannot say your name, Philippe. I know you told me how to say it, but it's Philippe Beru. He's Canadian, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, it's the first.
Tones and Philippe straight to mind.
I'm not going to do my toes. Don't let me do it. Okay, well, it's a 30-minute short piece, and I do know it has featured in a couple of festivals, which I'm really pleased to hear about. The reason I've come back to this is because I don't feel it had the recognition that it deserved at the time. I've always been a big advocate of this film. As I say, it's a 30-minute long short film. The plot line revolves around, there are two women, they're having trouble with the neighbours. I don't want to give too much away. Trouble with a noisy neighbour. So they phone the police. In the meantime, we see the police that will eventually arrive at the apartment, drinking coffee in a coffee house. There's
a guy who's just left the police, isn't there?
Yeah, there's two police, which one of them is Philippe's brother, Alexander Whale. And
he's a beast of a man.
Oh, he is. He's a beast. He's a lovely beast. He plays Moses, and there's another guy who I can't remember his name. Actually, you have a look while I'm talking. He is the main.
It's hard to take notes.
He is what we call the main protagonist. Would you say?
Yes.
Okay. He's very He's a protagonist, isn't it? Yeah. He's very animated, he's very slightly over the top. When you watch him, he kind of reminded me of somebody with his style of acting. A little bit Jim Carrey crossed with, like a kind of Scorsese feel.
It's hard to put a finger on it.
Like a Joe Pesci meets like Jim Carrey.
It's kind of over the top, but
within the realms of...
But very condescending.
Yeah. So we have Alexander, who is a silent, scary type. I don't know how to word that.
JP, was that his character?
JP, that's the one, yeah.
Matthew Saliba.
Okay, and then we had Matthew as the main protagonist. And when I first initially watched this film, I did do a written review, and although I really piled on the credit for this film, I did have a problem with JP's character. I found her a little bit too...
It did get a bit annoying in the end.
But I think on my second viewing...
But I guess that's the point, because he is a fucking arsehole.
On my second viewing, actually, I don't know whether it makes a difference. It's a couple of years later. I mean, it's 4 years now since this was released.
This is the first time I've watched the film.
It kind of carries it through, really. It keeps the energy going. Because I think, in retrospect, the females in the film, although they carried it well, if you look at Moses' character and the two females, they were very monotone on one level of acting. It was very, without being rude, it was kind of drab. It was very monotone. It was very blah, 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 blah. Whereas JP's character, he kind of interjected a lot of like...
Kind of polar opposite of that,
yeah. So I think in retrospect, it kind of weighed itself out.
Yeah.
So I do take that back now. So as regards to the plot, yes, these two women phone the police. Now we see the police, and we kind of find out in the process, they're in a coffee shop, they're talking, that they're kind of a little bit, you know.
A little bit dodgy, maybe.
Yeah.
Slight implication that they might be a bit dodgy.
I don't want to give too much of the plot away, but I don't know how much Philippe wants me to give away. So they attend the scene, and the first thing they do is they go to the
noisy neighbour's house.
The neighbour's house, and all you hear is a lot of noise. And then they arrive at the two females' flat, and then it kind of takes off from there, where they're kind of suspect about what's going on.
Yeah.
And it kind of descends into
lunacy. Really.
Yeah, and I don't want to give any more away, because I will say I do think it is a film that you should watch.
Yeah. It's I suppose it's set in Canada.
Yeah.
Quebec.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's.
Is that how you pronounce it, Canadians? Quebec.
I think if you keep up to date with
current
affairs and politics, it's probably more relevant now than it was 4 years ago when it was released.
Yeah, it was a political undertone.
Very much so, and as I say, it is far more relevant now. Perhaps why I can get on so much more now with the JP character.
Yeah. Because you can definitely see where it's coming from.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Even though he's an arsehole.
Yeah.
You straight away his motive.
You can kind of empathise with him, and that makes you feel kind of bad. And I never had that in the first place, perhaps because my political leanings were kind of more moderate back in the day. As to where now you come to a point where you have to have a definite stance. It allows you no other manoeuvring room to have any other perspective. So I can really appreciate now where this film is coming from. There's quite a lot of, in a good way, a little bit, not a lot of it, there's like a bit of female empowerment there, but in a backwards way. From a female's perspective, I suppose this is coming from. It shows the horrors that we can go through.
Yeah.
But it also shows that you don't have to be a victim.
Yeah.
Although maybe circumstance won't allow you to do anything else, it allows you that manoeuvre room to at least try.
Yes.
Whereas a lot of films, i.e. Red Eye, just basically uses a prop and throw you on the floor. You know, this film, it did kind of...
There was... it was all in context.
Yes, it was. It was very well. It was very well thought out. As we said before on episode 2, we do approach these films from a budgetary perspective. I was informed by Philippe that this was about around 3,000 Canadian dollars post production, which is around 1,500 English pounds. He did say that a lot of that went on food on set, which if I know Philippe and Alexander, they are big boys. They're going to be eating a lot of food.
Sound like my kind of men.
They said it went on food and the sound, the editing, the sound editing after. And I think I can appreciate that. I believe that. It's very hard to compare it with what we've talked about so far because it is so different. This is
very different from difficulty breathing. Yeah.
This has a driven message.
Yeah.
And I think that's quite brave to do actually, to take that up. Whereas as with difficulty breathing, that was
very personal,
subjective. You could take from that what you wanted or what you could kind of affiliate with. This has a very driven message, and
you know from the get-go pretty much what's going on.
Yeah, as I say, it's only 30 minutes long, but it does.
Yeah, keeps you.
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
keeps you engaged at all times. Pretty much every character does.
It definitely deserves a place in our collection of underground and low budget, homemade, lovely films.
Yeah.
Because it is quite standalone. I haven't got anything that I can compare it to be quite honest. It's quite utopian, really. I mean, without giving anything away, the ending to me was quite utopian and futuristic, and it was dystopian. Yeah. The end shot was quite powerful. I said this originally.
Yeah, very nice, beautiful shot.
It is, it is. I always said
the way
this.
It's lit.
Yeah.
And the subtlety of the sound, and there's not really
hopelessness.
There's not much going on in the scene at all, but it's just the lighting, the character that's there.
There's a lot of hopelessness. You can feel the emotion. Yeah. Again, another one from our underground series that cost a hell of a lot less than 12 grand. That is
Yeah.
a fantastic standalone piece of amateur filmmaking.
It is only a short film, 30 minutes, but if he was to expand on the story,
Yeah, definitely.
even you could even run this with the plot. You could even run it as a mini series of short films.
Yeah, actually, you could. Yeah.
Yeah.
It reminds me a little bit of
Purge.
The Purge.
Yeah. The Purge. Yeah. I was
Yeah,
thinking that.
before The Purge, I think came out. When did The Purge come out?
Oh God. What are we in now? 2017.
18.
2018. It's 2018, folks. 4 years ago, maybe.
Around about the same time,
Yeah.
but I'm quite sure that this came out before The Purge. So, excuse me, if I can compare it to anything, I would say The Purge, but different. And and I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. I've watched this a few times now, and
I'd say it's like The Purge, but the political commentary behind The Purge is what this film's like.
yes,
And not the plot story.
yes, it's not like a singular overview of a night's occurrence.
Yeah.
It's like a huge. It perpetuates the overview of the whole event in itself.
Yeah.
The message, and it's very clever. I wish it could have had a little bit more in the way of. I wish the female actresses had a little bit more confidence. It seemed like they were a little bit, and I'm not knocking them because it's so hard to review this after watching Difficulty Breathing, but Difficulty Breathing is a different kind of film. It was a little bit.
You could see the lack of experience.
Yes.
The lack of experience. You could see the inexperience of the actresses, but
Clunky. That's what I called it. Yeah, clunky.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad.
the delivery of the lines
Yes.
was very uniform, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I did always say that the one thing I always wanted to be was honest.
Yeah.
But as I say, you have to understand these people are just people that do it because they love it.
Yeah.
And the message that was put across.
Paid for by themselves with their own hard-earned money,
Yeah.
without asking for anybody
Exactly.
else.
The message that they put across was amazing. The film was amazing. The last shot is. I will always remember the last shot. It stuck with me. Same as with Difficulty Breathing. A few things in that stuck with me, and that's a sign of a good film.
Yeah.
When you can remember a scene from a film, regardless if somebody made it on their iPhone.
Yeah, and if that scene pops into your head,
Yeah,
all of a
when
sudden
you automatically
you
think of the
remember
film.
how you felt at the time when you watched that. Yeah,
It's definitely worth watching it. I would like to see Philippe do some more. I'd like to see him venture back into it. I know he hasn't done a lot for a while.
I'd like to see him expand.
Yes,
on this universe, let's call it.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I think this is a
Interesting.
message to Philippe. Philippe,
Get
please
cracking.
do some more, because I'd be quite happy to put on a fundraiser. I'd be quite happy to donate. I'd be quite happy to see you expand. I know you're a hard worker. Both you and Alexander, you've been doing this for years now. You've done a lot for other people, and you do put out some fantastic work. It's not half-assed. There's a lot of thought gone into it, and it would be great to see you get back into it. From a fan, anyway. 2 fans now. Michael's a fan now. So I think on our shitometer of
Shit or hit.
it's gonna be a hit. It's gonna be. I'm gonna say 7.5.
I'm gonna say 7 out of 10.
I'm going to say 7.5 because I'm biased and Philippe's awesome. But no, I would say, I'd probably say a 7.
Yeah.
It was a fantastic story, so much potential.
Enjoyable, engaging.
Yep.
Definitely worth a watch.
Very thought-provoking.
Yeah.
Quite eerie, leaves
Especially
with a little bit of a...
Especially in this day and age.
Yes. Very on point, very zeitgeisty, very... As I say, there was something just a little bit that made you just think, that's a possibility now, which it didn't do when it came out.
Yeah.
And that's why I love it.
Yeah.
So from me,
Angela. Me. Mike, yourself.
Yeah, thank you.
So
That's it on
that
First
was,
Night.
Yeah, First
Please
Night.
go check out the First Night page. Give some love to it. Go give whatever love you can give to Philippe and tell him to make some more stuff.
As again, as normal, all the links will be in the description. Also, thank you again to Beneath the Underground, BTU,
Thank you, yeah.
for letting us have this screener to watch.
Well, no, this was Philippe.
This is Philippe, just Philippe.
This is Philippe, yeah.
Okay.
But it will be on the BTU site
Yeah, it'll be on
because
BTU.
Nick did say
Thank
he
you,
will put
Philippe.
it on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Nick and everybody, and thank you.
Yeah.
We just like watching stuff and talking about stuff, as you can tell. You know, we're not getting paid for it.
So that's the end of episode 3. Catch us again for episode 4, whenever we'll be putting that out.
Probably next week.
Probably next week. There will also be some more videos.
We have lots of
in the
alcohol to
meantime.
consume at the weekend.
Yes, this is true. So that's good night from me and good night from
Him.
Yeah. Thank you.